Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you back to the Kai Laveo channel. Thanks for tuning in and checking out the content. I know it's not for everybody, but it's for some people. Today I'm gonna move it over to South America because I came across this interesting clip. I wasn't gonna talk about it because it's not Asian based and this is an Asian based channel, but then overall, this is about traveling and tourism as well. I'm a big foodie and I'm a car enthusiast as well, if you didn't know. So you could just check that out on the Insta. But anyway, Mr. Escobar right here and his territory, there's something strange going on. Let's check it out.
Decades ago, Medellin, Colombia was the home of narco kingpin Pablo Escobar.
Podemos dejar estigmatizar nuestra ciudad, que es una ciudad hermosa que se ha superado momentos ya muy difíciles.
Even now, it is still in the grip of organized crime. The city has become the center of international sex tourism.
Extranjeros que le gustan vírgenes o inocentes.
Girls as young as 10 kidnapped by the gangs and sold to foreigners for sex. I just saw 4 young girls. They're not older than 11 or 12 years old. This is right in the middle of the center of Medellin. And now a terrifying drug called scopolamine, or devil's breath,
Con esta sola roca tengo para dormir más de 3-4 personas.
is being used to rob and kill tourists.
Donde se vayan me toca usar la fuerza con ustedes.
Ooh, you see all that booty on her? Damn. But no. See, here's the thing. These third world countries, the less fortunate countries, a lot of Americans and people in European nations like to go over there and take advantage of the prostitution, right? But see, they don't understand that there's limits to it. It's okay for the adults, but children are not to be involved in it. And it's like that in a lot of third world countries that allow prostitution. Usually it's under the age of 15 and under. And as we all know, some of these guys are going over there for the kids and not the adults. So that's something that's not really explained as far as the sexpat and the passport bro side. I'm not shitting on the passport bros, but I mean, you can do your thing. But then there was a video, I remember another YouTuber played it. It was a YouTube clip of a few black American guys that were refusing to pay a Colombian girl an extra $40 for them to run trains on the girl in an apartment. But let's get back to the video.
Authorities battling to stop the crime wave spiraling out of control. I've been exploring Medellin's underworld and meeting people caught in a criminal crossfire.
Body bag. Passport, bro.
Chantal is one of many Venezuelans who come to Medellin to work in a city where prostitution is legal, drawn by its reputation as a place where anything goes.
Este es como el mundo de las maravillas de todo el mundo. De las drogas, del sexo, de la locura, del alcohol. Acá es el centro de todo.
With 1.5 million tourists flying into the city every year, business is booming.
She in shape too.
¿Tú cuánto puedes ganar en una noche?
En una noche he llegado a ganar hasta $500.
Those sex workers must be 18 years old. The age of consent here is just 14.
Ooh, you see that? That's pretty young. See, in most countries, it's 18 and up. You're an adult. You do whatever you want. But over there, it's even younger. So you can set the bar even younger. But I'm like, these girls aren't even virgins when you get over there. You see them young prostitutes. You're not the first one. So why does it even matter?
That's attracted foreigners looking for vices they can't get anywhere else.
Especially
Unos
America.
días tuve un caso de un hombre que me ofrecía más dinero por conseguirle niñas de 16, 15. Me decía que me ofrecía el doble de lo que yo ganaba al mes.
Hay extranjeros que vienen pidiendo eso porque...
Sí, porque hay extranjeros que le gustan vírgenes
Please.
o inocentes.
10 years ago, I came to Medellin to investigate child sex trafficking here and how virgin girls were being sold to foreigners. Since then, the problem has only got worse. A few months ago, this American man was stopped by his doorman trying to smuggle two girls aged just 12 and 13 years old into his hotel room. He waited for the doorman to leave and took them inside. He was arrested by police and eventually fled to the US. But his case has prompted a crackdown from the authorities. Saturday night in Parque Lleras, Medellin's main tourist square, and the police are out in force.
¿Cómo están? Buenas noches. ¿Me permiten documentación, por favor? ¿Hacen el favor, se levantan para hacerles un registro? Volteate.
In the years since Pablo Escobar died, the gangs have moved from drug trafficking to controlling the sex trade. They took over squares like these and turned Medellin into the largest open-air brothel in the world.
Open world brothel in the world. That's crazy. So that means they're ahead of the Philippines? In the Philippines, I don't think it's 14. I gotta look that up, but that's pretty young though. 14. Do it, girl. That's crazy. I'm glad I don't have no daughters. God bless America.
Now Parque Lleras is the center of Sin City, a world-famous destination for tourists, most of them men.
Where are you from? US? US?
The police are trying to make sure those in the square are there for the right reasons.
Donde se
What reason
vayan,
is
me
that?
toca usar la fuerza con ustedes.
In an attempt to get back control from the gangs, the authorities now say that women can only enter if they're accompanied by a man.
Bueno, una de dos. O me toca cogerlas o me toca cogerlas. Les estoy solicitando la documentación.
Sums up. They don't want to
This
show their
square is
ID.
now the front line of the fight against child sex trafficking, but there is little the police can do.
Look at them
The
bums.
officer spots a girl she thinks might be an underage sex worker.
Qué pena. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Me haces el favor? ¿Me permites tu cédula? ¿Corres hacia allá?
Her ID says she's 25, but her documents are Venezuelan, and the authorities here have no way of checking if they are legit.
And see, that's where they fall short, because even though they look at an ID, a government issued ID, it's not from their government. It's from another country. So of course they're not going to go out their way to identify that. With all them people there, please. It's not even worth it. It's a waste of time.
To understand the true extent of the problem, you have to leave the tourist square and enter the barrios.
Favelas.
Here the gangs control everything. The high price foreigners pay for young girls means the children of Medellin are now a goldmine for organized crime.
Understand that a lot of children in other countries are victims of this, especially third world countries. And see, it's bad for the sexpats too, because they're paying a higher price because they're foreigners. And being American, they don't care, because Americans go to these other countries and flash their cash and brag they got all this money, this and that. So they don't care about paying extra. They're paying more than the locals, that's for sure, because American dollars are worth more. The currency is worth more, but they're still going to overcharge them, even if it's in pesos or not.
Decades ago, Ludis was forced to move to Medellin from her indigenous home, a victim of Colombia's endless cycle of violence. She settled here with her family, but soon the gangs came knocking. They were after her 14-year-old daughter.
That's crazy.
Paula fue una niña que su papá le dio lo mejor, a mis hijos le dio lo mejor, el bienestar, economía, como humildes que somos, pero estuvo estudiando, fue una niña excelente estudiando.
They groomed her daughter with gifts and got her addicted to drugs. Then they came and took her away.
Entonces, cuando eso pasó, es una agonía. Es una agonía porque sencillamente desaparecen de las calles. Así de sencillo, y se las llevan para otros lugares y no pasa nada, no las volvemos a ver.
Man, it's wild.
The gangs have sent Ludis death threats for speaking about her daughter. Now she needs police protection.
Siente dolor y tristeza porque yo lo veo que las personas es algo ya como normal. Realmente Yo pensaría de que las personas que están detrás de eso no les importa nada, solamente
Yeah,
les
it's all
importa
about the money, baby.
un interés económico.
And it's the money that rules everything here. The sex industry is now worth millions to the economy of Medellin, fueling the bars, the hotels, and even the taxis.
This might as well be the red light district with all the red lights from the cars. Stop. Let the beautiful, attractive women out. Now, see, to the sexpats and the passport bro community, a lot of it, this is what it's about. They're going over there to do everything that they can't do over here in the States. So it's not about they couldn't get a woman back home. It's more like they want to do more things with women abroad for a cheaper price. The only downfall is the plane ticket. But what they could do in a day with just one girl back home in the States, they could do it with about 10 or 15 of them in another country like Colombia. And that's why some of these guys go over there to do that. Because we know most of them aren't over there to look for a wife. They're over there to have some fun, right? There ain't nothing wrong with that. Going over there to have some fun, get a taste of the local cuisine, and then have some women to deal with afterwards or beyond. But for a large percentage, a lot of expats go over there for prostitution, to enjoy the prostitution. But they risk their lives a lot of times doing it too. If you haven't noticed, they're after the younger women, right? Because see, the older women can't compete with the younger women. That's why the younger women are more likely to become victims rather than the mothers. They want the daughters, not the mothers. They want the youngest flesh meat.
Señores, señor alcalde, ¿cómo estás?
The man in charge is Federico Gutierrez. I wanted to ask him who he values more, the tourists coming in or the children of Medellin.
Esta es una ciudad que fue creciendo los últimos años de una manera grande en tema de turismo y recibimos 1,5 millones de turistas al año. Pero sí hay un grupo de personas que para mí no son turistas, a mí son unos enfermos y hay que perseguirlos, sean de donde sean. Podemos dejar estigmatizar nuestra ciudad, que es una ciudad hermosa que se ha superado de momentos ya muy difíciles.
But the mayor has another problem on his hands. With so much money to be made from organized crime, it's not just the people of Medellin who have become victims to the gangs. Now it's the tourists as well.
Tonight, an urgent warning for Americans visiting Colombia.
The family of a young man from Orange County is struggling with their grief.
The Woodbury man was just found killed in Colombia under suspicious circumstances.
In the last 3 years, over 80 foreigners have been killed here. Many of them
and I see a lot of Asian guys going over there too. I'm like, uh-oh, they participate in this shit too? Damn, that's crazy. And look, they're paying for it with their lives.
Tracked and robbed after meeting women for dates. This year alone, there's been a tourist death on average every 6 days. Now the US Embassy has blamed a local drug called scopolamine or devil's breath that it says incapacitates its victims in seconds, making them easy targets to rob or kill. I wanted to see if the rumors were true. Not far from the tourist square, I found a woman who says she uses it to drug and rob foreigners.
Wow.
She agreed to speak to us as long as we did not show her face.
El tapabocas.
Ya, ¿esto para qué es?
Para prevenirte que no se te vaya a entrar el polvo, ¿sí? Porque cualquier contaminación o el simple hecho de tocarlo lo duerme.
Cuando dices dormir, dormir es...
Dormir son 2, 3 días. Si me paso la dosis, sería
2 or 3 days.
dormir para siempre, matarlo.
Maria has been working for the gang since she was 8 years old. Recently, she started using scopolamine on tourists.
Eso parece cocaína, ¿no?
Sí, con esta sola roca.
Uy, quieto.
Sí.
Tengo para dormir más de 3, 4 personas.
¿Con ese pedacito?
Con este solo pedacito.
By drugging and robbing foreigners, she can make 100 times what she would earn for the gangs by sex work alone.
Damn.
All it takes is a small dose of devil's breath.
Entonces ya la mayoría ya no necesitan hacerlo porque uno no puede hacer esto delante de un cliente.
No.
Uno ya lo lleva preparado. Y usted la ve.
Se desapareció completo.
Se desapareció completo.
¿Y en el sabor sientes algo o no tiene sabor?
No tiene sabor. Es simple, se abre un splash y se durmió.
¿Tú crees que alguno de los que tú has dormido puede haberse muerto?
Pues yo espero que no, pero muy seguramente sí, eso puede haber pasado.
Los últimos 3 años han fallecido como cerca de 80 turistas aquí en Medellín. ¿Tú eso te parece un número alto o tú crees que es mucho más alto?
No, yo creo que es más alto, sino que no a todos los muestra.
The underworld of Medellin is what brings many to the city, but the mayor says those tourists are paying the price for dancing with the devil.
Todavía hay problemas en muchas zonas, yo no voy a negar eso.
So not only are you dealing with that issue, with the chances of becoming a victim, but you're also dealing with the cartel too, if you're thinking about it, because you're tricking off of their women. They're in control of the ring. So if you try to do any bullshit, they come after you. Plus, when you're dealing with these women, you don't know if they got their GPS turned on their phone. So people know where you're at. So if you try to talk them down or talk them out or talk about you ain't paying, you probably gonna end up paying with your life. Or they're gonna spray that shit and rob you afterwards. Then you wake up in a river with no drawers on.
Pero,
¿Y la escapolamina es un problema en Medellín?
Claro que sí. También lo estamos combatiendo. Y si es un problema, y sobre todo en esta zona donde estas personas van a buscarlo.
It's bringing in too much money to the local economy. How hard are they really gonna fight? Trust me, they barely fighting. Don't listen to this motherfucker.
Que no deben estar buscando.
Back in the tourist square, Chantal is clear. This side of Medellin is here to stay.
¿Crees que esto no se va a acabar? Que no importa cuántas redadas haga la policía.
No importa cuántas leyes existan, eso no se va a acabar nunca.
She's right, it'll never end. You wanna know why? It's the oldest profession since mankind. The only difference is they was using something else with money when it first started. Well, since the beginning of time. Of course, there wasn't no money then, it was something else. Yeah. And it's only going to continue to get bigger and bigger. And due to inflation and everything and hard times, people are going to do anything for money. Most women will do anything for money, right? So they start to think about that ATM machine between their legs and they're like, fuck it, I'll just sell my body. Take care of my whole family. Because a lot of these women, I don't judge them. You want to know why? Because they make more money than a salaryman, let alone the average 9-to-5 warehouse worker. You know they're getting paid way more than the Amazon delivery driver, so come on.
Ya está más que comprobado que alcanzó, superó el porcentaje de las drogas.
Medellin is now a world-famous tourist destination, but years after Escobar, organized crime still haunts Colombia's Sin City.
Escobar be so proud. All right, you guys, that's all I have for now. You know I'll be back. This is Kai Vale. And yeah, this was interesting. I'll check you out on the next video. As always, have a good rest of the weekend and a good day. Peace.